A lot of people ask me, Jacob, how do I stay motivated to learn English every single day? I start strong, but then I get tired. I lose interest. I forget to practice. I feel guilty and then I stop. And when I hear that, I always say the same thing. The secret is not discipline. It's not willpower, it's learning to love English. If you can train your mind to actually enjoy English, to look forward to it, then practicing every day stops feeling like homework. It starts feeling like a natural part of your life. Think about it. When you love something, you don't have to force yourself to do it. If you love music, you don't say, "Oh, I have to listen to this song today." You just do it. If you love football, you don't say, "I must force myself to watch the match." No, you can't wait for it. That's the mindset we want for English. Not a chore, not a job, but a passion, a habit, even a joy. I remember one student of mine who struggled for years. She had books, apps, courses, you name it. But she treated English like a school subject. She studied it the same way she used to study math, with stress and pressure. And guess what? She hated it. Every time she sat down to learn, it felt like punishment. Then one day I asked her, "What do you love outside of English?" She said, "I love cooking." So I told her, "Why don't you start watching cooking shows in English? Follow recipes in English. Write down your favorite meals in English." At first, she laughed, but she tried it. Slowly, English stopped being a burden. It became the language of her passion. She didn't just practice English, she lived English. And that changed everything. See, the mind is like a child. If you give it boring, heavy things, it resists. But if you give it fun, tasty, exciting things, it comes alive. If you feed your mind English through the things you already love, music, movies, stories, hobbies, friends, you'll look forward to it every day. Let me tell you about myself. When I was learning another language years ago, I made the mistake of only studying textbooks. I memorized grammar rules, endless vocabulary lists, and after a few weeks, I felt exhausted. I dreaded practice. But then I discovered TV shows in that language. Suddenly, I wasn't studying, I was binge watching. I wasn't just memorizing words, I was laughing at jokes, getting emotional at stories, following characters I loved. And you know what? I learned faster without even realizing it, because my brain was hooked. That's the power of love. Love makes learning effortless. Now let's take a moment. Ask yourself, what do you already love in life? Is it music, sports, fashion, technology, travel? Whatever it is, bring English into it. If you love music, listen to songs in English, read the lyrics, sing along. If you love travel, follow travel bloggers in English, watch documentaries. If you love comedy, watch stand-up shows. This way, English is not something separate from your life. It's part of what already excites you. Here's another story. I had a student who loved video games, but felt guilty about spending too much time playing them. So I suggested, play them in English. Join online communities. Talk to players in English. He did, and suddenly, his gaming hobby became his English classroom. He wasn't forcing himself to practice, he was having fun, and English was simply the tool. Within a year, his fluency skyrocketed, not because he studied harder, but because he trained his mind to associate English with joy, not pain. This is what I mean when I say train your mind. It's like training a muscle. At first, you might resist. You might think, I don't want to do this. But if you keep connecting English to pleasure, your brain starts craving it. Imagine every morning you wake up and instead of scrolling social media in your native language, you watch something small in English. At first, it feels unusual, but after a few weeks, your brain expects it, wants it, loves it. That's how habits are born through repetition, yes, but also through enjoyment. And let's not forget stories. Human beings are wired for stories. We remember stories better than rules, better than lists, better than facts. If you want to love English, surround yourself with stories in English. Watch movies. Read novels. Listen to podcasts. Even tell your own life stories in English. The more emotional connection you create, the more your mind embraces the language. I remember another learner, a man who hated grammar exercises but loved movies. He decided to watch one English movie every week with subtitles. At first, he barely understood, but he kept going. The second movie was a little easier. By the 10th, he was catching phrases. By the 20th, he was repeating lines out loud. Watching movies wasn't work for him, it was entertainment. And because of that, English became his friend, not his enemy. I want you to try a little mental trick. Instead of saying, I have to study English, start saying, I get to play with English today. Notice the difference. One feels heavy, the other feels light. The words you use with yourself matter. If you treat English as a punishment, your brain will resist. But if you treat it as a gift, an adventure, your brain will welcome it. Here's something else: celebrate small wins. When you understand a joke in English, smile. When you use a new word correctly, clap for yourself. When you finish reading an article, treat yourself to something nice. Your brain loves rewards. And the more you reward yourself, the more it associates English with pleasure. That's how you build love, through positive reinforcement. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but Jacob, I don't have time. My life is busy, and I get that. But loving English doesn't mean spending hours every day. It means weaving English into the things you already do. Listen to English while cooking. Change your phone language to English. Follow English accounts on social media. Even 5 minutes a day, if done with love, will add up over time. Let's imagine two learners. One studies for 3 hours every Saturday, but hates it. The other spends 15 minutes every day doing something fun in English, watching a clip, reading a meme, singing a song. Who do you think will learn more after a year? Exactly the one who trains their mind to love English daily. Because consistency beats intensity, and love fuels consistency. Another story comes to mind. A student of mine once told me, I'm lazy. I just can't push myself. I smiled and said, you're not lazy, you're bored. If English feels boring, of course you won't push yourself. So let's make it fun. We experimented until we found what he enjoyed: English comedy shows. Suddenly, he wasn't lazy anymore. He was hooked. He couldn't wait to practice. Laziness disappeared because love replaced it. And that's the secret. You don't need superhuman motivation. You just need the right environment, the right input, the right associations. English should feel like a favorite song, not a school test. Think of it like planting a garden. If you force a plant to grow by pulling on it, it won't work. But if you give it sunlight, water, and good soil, it grows naturally. Your mind is the same. Give it English in a way that feels warm and exciting, and growth happens naturally. Sometimes I think about children and how they learn languages. Have you noticed how they don't actually study the way adults do? They don't sit with grammar charts or verb conjugations. They just live in the language. They hear it, they repeat it, they play with it. They laugh when they get it wrong, and they try again. And because of that, they love the process. But then we grow up, and we change our approach. We make learning serious, heavy, and often joyless. We say, I must memorize this list. I must complete this exercise. But our brain is still the same as when we were kids. It still learns best through play, through curiosity, through fun. So if you can return to that childlike mindset, where English is not a subject but a playground, you'll fall in love with it again. I once met a man in his 60s who had been learning English for more than 30 years. He said to me, Jacob, I've been trying my whole life, but I never became fluent. I asked him, how have you been learning? And he told me about endless grammar books, classroom drills, and how he would study hard for a while, then quit, then start again. So I gave him a challenge. Forget the books for a month. Just listen to English songs and sing along. Watch movies, even if you don't understand everything. Have fun. No pressure. He was skeptical, but he agreed. A month later, he came back to me, his eyes glowing, and said, for the first time in my life, I actually enjoy English. I look forward to it. He hadn't magically become fluent overnight, but something far more important happened. He fell in love with the process. And that was a turning point. You see, fluency doesn't grow out of punishment. It grows out of love. If you love English, you'll give it time. If you give it time, you'll make progress. And if you make progress, you'll love it even more. That's the cycle you want to create. Let me ask you a question. Imagine two learners. One sits down with a heavy heart and says, I must finish 50 vocabulary words today. The other says, I'm curious what new English joke I'll understand today. Who do you think is training their mind to love English? The second one, because they're connecting English to joy, not obligation. I want you to start looking for micro moments of joy in English. Not big achievements, just tiny sparks. That moment when you understand a line in a movie. That moment when you chat with someone and they understand you. That moment when you use a phrase naturally without thinking. These little victories, when noticed, create a sense of pride and excitement. And that excitement is fuel. If you ignore them, you'll feel stuck. If you celebrate them, your mind will want more. I'll share another story. A young woman I coached once told me, Jacob, I hate English. I hate the sound of it. I thought that was unusual, so I asked her, what English have you been listening to? She said, mostly old exam recordings. Very slow, boring voices. I laughed and said, no wonder. You've only tasted the dry part of English. You haven't tasted the music of it. So I sent her a playlist of English songs and podcasts with passionate voices. At first she resisted, but slowly her ears started to open. She said, Jacob, I didn't know English could sound so beautiful. I actually enjoy listening now. That shift in perception, seeing English not as noise, but as music, changed her journey completely. Now think about your own relationship with English. Do you see it as a door that keeps shutting on you, or as a key that can unlock the world. The truth is, English is not just a language, it's a bridge. A bridge to stories, to people, to opportunities, to experiences you would never have otherwise. When you see it this way, your mind will want to cross that bridge again and again. Another way to train your mind is through identity. Instead of saying, I am trying to learn English, start saying, I am an English speaker in training. You see the difference. One makes you a student forever. The other makes you part of the tribe already. And when you see yourself as an English speaker, you'll behave like one. You'll listen more. You'll speak more. You'll feel proud of the journey. Identity is powerful. The way you talk about yourself shapes the way your brain responds. And let's not forget your environment matters. If all your English practice feels like a test, your brain will avoid it. But if you surround yourself with English naturally in music, in shows, in daily habits, your brain will lean towards it. Think about how you surround yourself with your favorite things. If you love a sport, you wear the jersey, you follow the news, you decorate your room with posters. Do the same with English. Make it visible. Make it part of your environment. The more you see it, the more normal it becomes. Here's a little exercise I often recommend. Pick one object in your house, say, a cup. Every time you use it, say its name in English. Cup, that's it. Just that. Next day, add another object, chair. Slowly, your whole house becomes English. Then your daily life becomes English. That's how you build a relationship with small, constant touches. And when the tough days come, and they will remember this, your goal is not perfection, it's connection. Don't measure your success by how many mistakes you avoid. Measure it by how many moments you create. Did you laugh in English today? Did you understand something new? Did you share a thought, even if it wasn't perfect? Then you're winning. That's how love grows. Now, let's try something together. Wherever you are, I want you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine your ideal English day. Picture yourself waking up, hearing English around you, reading something small, maybe scrolling social media in English, or listening to a favorite song. Imagine speaking naturally with someone in English, smiling, laughing at a joke, sharing your ideas without hesitation. Feel the confidence, the joy, the freedom. Hold that image in your mind. That's what loving English feels like. Your brain is starting to associate English with positive feelings. This is training. Every time you do it, it gets stronger. Now, let's make it practical. I want you to start small, but in a way that feels fun. Here's a little daily ritual I suggest to learners. Step 1. Pick one thing you enjoy every day. It could be a song, a short video, a comic, a funny meme. Engage with it in English. Not because it's study, but because it's enjoyable. Step 2. Interact with it. Don't just watch passively. Read the lyrics, repeat a phrase, try to mimic the accent, or write a short comment in English. The more you play, the more your brain learns. Step 3. Reflect positively. After this short exercise, give yourself a little mental high five. Say, I enjoyed this. I'm learning naturally. English is fun. That positive reinforcement wires your brain to crave English every day. Here's a story about a student named Lena. She hated traditional study, but she loved cartoons. So I told her, watch English cartoons every day, just 10 minutes. At first, she thought it was silly. But soon, she started understanding jokes she hadn't before. She laughed at the characters, she repeated lines, she even started creating little stories in English herself. After a few months, she told me, "Jacob, I don't feel like I'm studying English. I just love spending time with it." That's the magic. 10 minutes a day, paired with enjoyment, turned into fluency without pressure. Now, let's talk about words as friends. One way to love English is to make every new word a little companion. Don't just memorize it. Give it life. For example, if you learn the word venture, imagine a small story where you go on an adventure. Picture it vividly. Feel the excitement. Connect it to your life. When words feel alive, your mind craves them, and your love for English grows naturally. Here's another exercise. Pick one word a day. Imagine how it could be part of a story. Speak it, write it, use it in a message to a friend or yourself. Make it playful. When you do this every day, your vocabulary doesn't just grow, it becomes personal. You start seeing English as a living, breathing thing, not a list of rules. And let's not forget the power of auditory pleasure. Listen to English not only to learn, but to enjoy the sound. Music, storytelling podcasts, radio shows choose voices that make you feel alive. Your brain will associate English with enjoyment. Over time, this love will pull you back every day. You'll start noticing, "Oh, I want to hear English today." Not, "I have to study." That shift in mindset is everything. I want to share a story about a man named Raj. He worked long hours and felt he had no time for English. I suggested he listen to short English stories on his commute. At first, he was exhausted, and the stories felt like homework. But after a few days, he started looking forward to his commute. It was a mini adventure, a mental escape. One day he said, "Jacob, I actually wait to get to the train just to listen to the story." That's how love creates habit. That's how your mind learns to crave English naturally. Let's pause again for a mental visualization. Imagine your day, every single interaction infused with English in a way that excites you. You don't have to force it. You don't have to be perfect. You just look for little sparks, reading a comic, sending a funny message in English, laughing at a joke, understanding a song lyric. Every spark adds up. Over weeks, months, it becomes a fire. That's what I mean by training your mind to love English every day. Now, let's make it even more interactive. I want you to say this aloud with me. I enjoy English every day. English is fun. English is part of my life. I look forward to it. Repeat it slowly, at least 3 times. Say it with feeling. Imagine your brain starting to believe it. Every repetition strengthens your mental connection to English. And over time, your daily practice won't feel like effort, it will feel like a habit of joy. Another trick I love to share is called English micro habits. These are tiny actions you do daily without even noticing, but they build a love for the language. For example, change your phone or computer language to English. Write a 1-sentence journal entry in English every morning. Label objects in your house with sticky notes in English. Read 1 English quote each morning and reflect on it. Speak 1 short phrase aloud while cooking or walking. All of these are small, fun, and almost effortless. But over time, your mind begins to see English as natural, familiar, and enjoyable. And here's the most important mindset shift: stop chasing perfection. Stop worrying about grammar mistakes. pronunciation, or what others think. Focus on experience, engagement, and enjoyment. The more your mind associates English with positivity, the more it will seek it out. That's how lifelong love and fluency are built. By now, I hope you can see the pattern. Loving English every day isn't about forcing yourself to study or chasing perfection. It's about creating joy, curiosity, and connection. It's about small sparks listening to a song, laughing at a joke, reading a story, speaking one sentence out loud that grow into a fire over time. Every little moment adds up, and before you know it, English becomes part of your life, not a separate task. Remember the childlike approach we talked about. Play with the language, make mistakes, enjoy the sounds, the rhythm, the stories. Treat every new word as a friend, every sentence as a tiny adventure. Celebrate every small win, because these are the building blocks of love, and love is what sustains your practice every single day. Think about all the students, learners, and people I've met over the years who struggled for months or even years. The ones who finally broke through weren't the ones who studied the hardest, they were the ones who learned to love English. They found ways to connect it with their passions, their interests, their daily life. They stopped thinking about English as a task and started seeing it as a companion, a bridge, a friend. That mindset change made all the difference. So here's the challenge I want you to carry with you. Look for one way to enjoy English today. Maybe it's listening to a song, reading a short story, watching a video, or speaking aloud to yourself. Notice how it feels. Let your brain associate English with pleasure. Do it tomorrow. Do it the next day. Slowly, your mind will crave it naturally. You won't have to force yourself anymore. You'll wake up and want English in your life. That's the power of training your mind to love it every day. And remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent, being curious, and being joyful. Every time you choose enjoyment over obligation, every time you choose connection over fear, you build the habit of loving English. And that love will carry you further than any grammar book, vocabulary list, or textbook ever could. So start today. Take one small action that makes English feel alive. Make it fun. Make it yours. Celebrate it. And slowly, day by day, your mind will begin to welcome English naturally, lovingly, effortlessly. That's the secret. That's how fluency is born, not through pressure, but through passion. And one final thought to leave with you: the more you love English, the more it loves you back. Your brain will start seeking it out. Your life will open doors you never imagined, and you'll find yourself speaking, reading, listening, and thinking in English not because you have to, but because you want to.